Welcome to another extended version of Style Drops. Today I want to talk about tension or contrast within design. Did you realize that perfect spaces can be boring? The spaces and people that draw us in their world have a certain level of magnetism. You might be thinking, how can a space be magnetic? That's easy. But keep in mind that I'm Gail's avatar, and she tells me what to say. But in general, spaces or interiors and people do not create magnetism by being perfect or beautiful. Let me repeat that, because it's not about being attractive, it's about being unforgettable. Most people cut and paste the spaces that they see on socials on the daily. They're at best redundant and at worst completely soulless. Most choose these same styles over and over again because that is what is liked and accepted by a majority. Most have the mindset that the styles presented on the different platforms are tried and tested looks that many have liked, so why fight what works? But here's the thing, perfect rooms are like perfect people. They're filled with platitudes, and they're all surface. So obvious that one can even guess what they're going to say or do even before they say it. The answer is, perfect is expected, stagnant and obvious. What you actually want is a room with a little attitude, some contradictions, and maybe just a hint of, I can't believe this works but it really does. Welcome to the beautiful world of design tension, where the best spaces are the ones having some depth, pleasure, stimulate your senses, and a sense of unique presence. When you leave them, whether you want a specific style or not, you'll never forget its uniqueness and how it made you feel. That is the art of a great seduction. Ways we can create visual tension can be achieved several ways. First, by mixing styles. Blend different styles such as rustic and contemporary. Mixing design periods is where tension gets really interesting. Put a sleek modern sofa in a room full of antiques, and suddenly both the old and new pieces look more intentional. Add contemporary art to a traditional space, and the traditional elements seem more grounded, while the modern pieces feel more sophisticated. The secret sauce is finding the thing they have in common. When different eras find common ground, they create spaces that feel collected over time, rather than ordered from a catalogue. Plus, mixing periods is the ultimate defense against your space looking like a showroom. Nobody's grandmother passed down a complete matching bedroom set from West Elm. Another aspect is by playing with balance. Not everything has to be symmetrical. There is beauty and more interest with counterbalance with asymmetry. Most know that the mirror image approach, everything balanced perfectly on both sides of an invisible center line. Possibly two identical lamps flanking a sofa. Matching nightstands on either side of the bed. Centered artwork with identical objects on each side. Even numbers of everything, perfectly spaced. The vibe it's trying to project, I have my life together. But really it's predictable, with the warmth of a hotel lobby if overdone. Asymmetrical design is the organized chaos approach. Things are balanced by visual weight, rather than identical placement. One large piece of art balanced by several smaller ones. A big lamp on one side of a sofa, balanced by a stack of books, and a plant on the other. Odd numbers of objects grouped together, all in different heights, sizes and shapes, creating visual equilibrium. The vibe, casual, dynamic, modern. I'm interesting and confident. This works on so many levels, especially for contemporary spaces and eclectic environments. Really, any design style should be fused with layers of contrast. Anywhere you want energy and movement. Otherwise, a space can feel flat and unfinished if you don't nail the visual weight balance correctly. Maybe your room has more of a symmetrical architecture. Centered fireplace, matching windows, but asymmetrical styling. Symmetrical is easier to pull off, but can feel boring. Asymmetrical is more interesting, but requires a better eye for visual weight. When in doubt, start symmetrical, and then break one rule to add some personality. A third aspect in creating tension in a space is contrast, using varying size and scale. Combine large and small scale items to create a dramatic contrast, and draw the eye through the space. Your brain will do this little double take, because it's expecting things to be proportionate, whatever that means. But when you deliberately mess with those expectations, magic happens. That oversized mirror in a small powder room doesn't just reflect light, it reflects pure confidence. Create drama by playing with scale. Put a giant chunky farm table in a delicate modern space. Hang a massive classic chandelier in a cozy cabin. Place a tiny precious wood stool next to an extra large sofa. Your brain will do this little double take because it's expecting things to be proportionate or balanced. But when you deliberately mess with those expectations, magic happens. That oversized mirror in a small powder room, doesn't just reflect light, it reflects pure confidence. Other ways of playing with tension in a room are with color drama. Use bold, contrasting colors or unexpected color pairings to make elements stand out and create a focal point. Color is where people either get really brave or really scared, and honestly, both approaches can lead to disaster. The scared people end up with beige everything, while the brave ones sometimes create spaces that look like a unicorn exploded. It's all about finding the sweet spot. Choose your battles. Maybe your entire room is a study in soft, muted tones, but then, one chair is in a deep, rich tone, which makes everything else look more sophisticated by comparison. Or flip it, go bold everywhere except for one piece that's so quietly elegant it becomes the star of the show. My favorite for those who prefer to navigate safe waters is to pop the powder rooms. Be bold and outrageous in the smallest rooms, and they work because the rest of the house plays it relatively safe. It's like having one friend who's always the life of the party. You love them in small doses, but you wouldn't want to live with that energy 24/7. The last aspect I want to cover is texture play. Common texture plays are all about rough plus refined, reclaimed wood dining table with velvet chairs, soft plus hard, fuzzy throw pillows on a leather sofa, matte plus shiny, flat painted walls with glossy ceramic accessories, heavy plus light, thick wool rug under airy furniture placement. When texture play works, people unconsciously want to reach out and touch things. Not because they're being nosy, but because the room is basically saying, "Come explore me" through its surfaces. It's like creating a room that speaks fluent tactile. Every surface has something different to say, but they're all contributing to the same conversation about comfort, luxury, earthiness, or whatever vibe you're going for. The bottom line: texture play turns flat, boring rooms into spaces with personality and depth. It's the difference between looking at a room and wanting to live in it. Perfect rooms can be stiff and pretentious, but the rooms you've found interesting on the socials that just seem a little off, a little different, that's exactly why they caught your attention. They're unique. Welcome to the beautiful world of design tension, where the best spaces are the ones that have gentle decor, where tension is a good thing. These spaces are infinitely more interesting than the person whose entire personality can be summed up in one word: beige. It's not about throwing random stuff together and hoping for the best. That's not tension, that is chaos. Real design tension is like a well-choreographed dance between opposing forces that creates energy without creating a headache. Finding that fine line between tension and chaos is where things get tricky. There's a difference between a room with personality and a room having an identity crisis. Good tension feels intentional, like someone made deliberate choices for specific reasons. Bad tension feels like someone threw darts at a design magazine while blindfolded. If you're new to this whole tension thing, start small. Add one unexpected element to an otherwise cohesive room. Maybe it's a vintage rug in a modern space, or contemporary lighting in a traditional room. See how it feels. If it makes you smile every time you walk in, then you're on the right track. Remember, the goal isn't to create a space that gets you featured in a design magazine, though that would be nice. It's to create a space that feels like you, complex, interesting, and just a little bit unpredictable. Because at the end of the day, the most beautiful rooms are the ones that tell a story. And good stories always have a little tension in them. Be unique, not a social platform follower. Until next time, please like and subscribe.